Oh.
Halfway through the season, are you happy with the progress you all have made?
Yeah, I mean we're getting there. I thought the last two games, we certainly built good leads. We got to be able to hold on to them. It's been a little bit of an issue, as you know, with our team. But the season is a long one. It's a marathon, and you can't get caught up too much in where you're at a particular point in time. You just got to worry about continually getting better. Get your guys to come to practice with a lot of energy, with that same focus. And so, yeah.
Is there any common denominator that you've seen in those games where you have built big leads but then struggled to hold them?
I wouldn't say there's a common denominator. I think in certain games, what plagued us is we got a little bit greedy with our shot selection. It wasn't the case against Notre Dame. I mean, if you go back and look and, you get, from the outside, you say, like, what the hell's wrong? Like, how can they not hold a lead? Put the foot on the gas. And it's like the shots we were creating to start the second half, we can't get better shots. And that was an issue for us at times when we've held leads, getting errant with our shot selection. Now, having said that, it'd been nice when we missed a few of the close ones, a few of the open ones, to be able to get on the offensive glass and not just be a one-and-done team on offense. Dwayne did get one, kicked it out to Jordan, gets an open shot. We'll take that look every single time. But, so I wouldn't say there's a common denominator. What was really nice to see, is I said on Saturday, is our response late when things were going the wrong way for our team.
Do you feel a little comfortable with the lineup that you've been using now from start the game, finish the game, just having different guys in and the rotations?
Yeah, I just want to see more consistency out of a few of our guys. Knowing what you get as a coach is really, really important. And, at times some of our guys have been really good, gone really good, and then other times it's, like a different player. And we got to be a little bit more consistent with our results. But, the effort, by and large, has been good on the defensive end. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it wasn't a 24-hour virus. He's been sick for, quite a few days, but I think it's at the tail end, now, and hopefully he's a better version of himself tomorrow night.
Malik had a big night against Pittsburgh last time out there. Have you been pleased with them lately?
I think Malik, is the centerpiece of our defense. I think he's a guy that always knows what's happening on the floor. He's going to battle. He plays different personnel. We can put him on a 4. We can put him on a mobile 5 or a guy under the basket. Offensively, he's got to finish around the basket, and he's got to take good shots. And, if he does that, then yeah.
Looking back on the first Pittsburgh game, Chris, what do you think enabled you to win that game?
If you're going to beat Pittsburgh, you have to be able to keep their guards out of the lane. They play extremely downhill, whether it's off of a ball screen, whether it's off of isolations in space, whether it's in transition. Those two guards, I'm talking about McGowens and Johnson, are trying to get their chest into the lane and then figure out from there what they want to do, whether that's draw a foul, finish, kick out. They'll do it all, and they're the engine for their team.
Yeah, it's a version of this on the teleconference, but it always comes up when you've got these games back-to-back like this. Do you worry about the focus at all going into Tuesday's game with the big game coming up?
They're all big. I mean, I don't even want to really respond to that question. I don't look at it that way. I don't think our players look at it that way. It's hard to win on the road in conference. So, whether we win, whether we lose tomorrow, have zero to do with what you all perceive as a big game on Saturday.
With, Dwayne's threes and then Ryan making those 2 drives to the basket, those are things that they don't necessarily do most of the time, kind of more uncommon. Do you think that as the schedule goes on, you're going to have to rely on them to be able to make those types of reads more and more?
Well, I think what we have to rely on is not just Jordan. And to see Ryan step up as a fifth-year senior on the road, to see Dwayne, not even just the threes, which were obviously huge plays down the critical moments of the game, but his willingness to drive the ball, create contact, get in the lane. We need multiple threats on the floor, and it's my job to figure out how to use those guys in ways that they can be threatening. And so that's what my goal is, to try to help our offense so that Jordan doesn't feel this immense amount of pressure to have to score 30 points for us to win.
Chris, what did you think the difference was with Ryan? He had a small pocket there where shots weren't falling and they weren't coming easy for him, but then, a little bit of a breakout.
I give Ryan all the credit in the world. No one likes, going from being a starter to coming off the bench. No one likes that. But he was very accepting of it. He's all for the team. And, he didn't play very well in the times that he was a starter down the stretch and also when he first came off the bench. But, he and I had a conversation, and I knew Ryan was all in. He came to me, which just shows his investment level. I really think it just starts with the player. What is his mindset? And Ryan, like I said, he's been through a lot of games. He's a fifth-year senior. The season means and the team means a lot to him. And so sometimes you have to have some conversations with yourself and figure out a way to be better. And he's done that.
You mentioned this is a team that needs to grow both physically and mentally. We saw Jordan against Notre Dame show a little more of that, with his teammates grabbing some jerseys. Are you seeing the players kind of progress in both of those avenues?
I think so. I think that they're beginning to understand what ownership of the team means. The older players are going to be the guys that set the tone, that do those type of things or not. And, they've been through enough games now to know what they need to do in order to finish games, in order to be prepared for games. And so those type of moments are really good to see.
Chris, you were talking about consistency earlier. Fresh on Saturday didn't play a ton. I think it was like 21 minutes. But in the end, he made two huge plays that kind of helped. Dwayne made the 2 threes, but his 2 drives were key. Is consistency for him, because you need him on the floor at the end of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Consistency for everybody, Jody. But, when you're specifically talking point guard position, and, we've had those conversations at this very table, it's huge for your team. And Fresh has always, for the most part, done his job on the defensive end. But offensively, he can't be a zero. And some of the plays he made down the stretch at Notre Dame when the chips were down was really good to see.
You said Ryan came to you, Chris, looking for a solution, advice, or what was his purpose?
No, he was not looking for a solution. He was not looking for any advice. He was specifically telling me, Coach, I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better. I'm going to be better on defense. I'm going to be better on offense. And again, I think it's easy to say that, but when you've been around a guy for a couple years, if he's just trying to say that so he doesn't get taken, more minutes out of his pocket, or if, he has a belief that, he's going to change some things.
Coach, it was said on the telecast that you told the guys, stop looking at the bench and kind of push the pace. Was that, game specific, or is it something you've seen?
It was my fault. Earlier in the year, games like Michigan. See, our team, our team over the last 2 years, Marcus, has been that team that, you couldn't tell in the 35th minute of the game that the time and score was different from the 5th minute. Just an example off the top of my head. Played Duke at home last year. We're up 23 points. Guys are shooting transition threes with 9 minutes left, and it's 4 seconds into the shot clock. And they didn't have the experience. They didn't understand that, hey, there's a way to play when you're winning. You're up 8 points with 4 minutes. You want to take some time off the clock and execute and get a great shot. The other team's panicking. You're going to get fouled, whatever the case is. But worst case scenario, we're going to go down to the other end of the floor. There's going to be 30 seconds less time on the clock, and now not as many possessions, and that's how you play. Our team didn't understand that. And so there were a few games, Michigan, where it's like I'm putting on the brakes with 6 minutes to go and telling those guys, like, we're going to run this play. And this play has 5 or 6 passes. We're going to get the shot we want. And that sort of went into too many possessions over the course of too many games where my point guard's looking over at me. So it's my fault, it's his fault. So we've made a conscious effort over the last 3 or 4 games to quit looking at me. Quit looking at me. We want to play faster. We want to try to free up Ryan in transition and Jordan in transition. And, again, the more responsibility or the more freedom I give them, the more responsibility they need to have with that freedom.
Anything else for Coach?
Thanks.